Early in the morning, early in the morning.
Hold on.
Girl, early in the morning.
Hold on.
Why did we do that again?
I think we were trying to be as annoying as possible.
No, won't stop. The way that I keep to deliver.
SJ.
I'ma make these haters reconsider.
BPC.
And I kick back,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
high up for life.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't stop.
I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. Even if I try.
Welcome to Y'all Boys Talkin, a podcast about nonsensical improvement. We're bringing that back, where each week we not only talk about bettering ourselves, but how we can help you better yourself by hearing us better ourselves. Oh, right? My name is Joshua Jean Baptiste.
Frank Hernandez.
I'm Maximo Santana.
And I'm Steve Della Valentina.
Let's get some explosions for these boys. Woo! And the four of us have known each other for the past decade and have developed a philosophy, a belief, a structure of living called STTT. Now, if I was unaware, what would it be, Max?
STTT is all about being a moth and flying towards the flame of success. Always being focused and never letting anything stop you. Not even when you get to the flame. You just got to keep going back.
So you
at
get
it.
to the flame, you light on fire immediately. That's that.
The goal of this podcast is for us to burn to the crisp with success.
I mean, that's straight to the straight to the top.
That is be straight to the top.
Straight to the top, man.
Straight to the flame.
It's like taking a spaceship to the sun. Is what that sounds like. One way trip.
Yeah, you know.
No plans in going back.
Don't need to. When you get to the top, why would you want to go back to the bottom? Yeah, we don't give you instructions back to the bottom. It's straight to the top. That's the only plan we got, guys.
Oh
yeah,
my
this is a
God.
one-way trip to the sun. You're right.
I've never found moths so inspiring until right now, Max.
Hey, be careful. Moth memes might come back.
Oh, all right. Listen,
I'm
I
not
can't handle that right now.
It. All right, I got a question for you guys. How are all of your lower backs?
I've been doing a lot of yoga, so pretty darn good. I've been sitting up, walking straight.
Yeah, my lower back is a little tight, but it's tight.
My lumbar vertebrae are doing swell, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, my lower region, upper leg region, mid body region, it's all okay.
The pure
very regional area.
Mid body region.
It's a very regional area. Thanks for that, Steve.
You know, I encourage anyone listening to this right now, you know, among your talkings to peoples over the week, ask someone how their lower back is. You'll be surprised how much people really appreciate you asking about their lower backs. I don't know if any of the guys in this podcast did, but
I didn't.
I made someone
Steve particularly is not appreciative of this.
I made someone smile this week because they really appreciated that I asked them about their lower back.
Aww.
So
I mean, it's important to keep your lower back in shape. But good
Ain't
lower
that
back
cute.
is good abdominal strength, actually. So if you work on your abdominals, your lower back gets a little bit eased off there. As we get older, this becomes more and more important, especially if you work in a sedentary job. So I
just don't ask anyone about their knees. People will test you about their knees. I don't know what's up with that.
They gonna fight? Oh no! Hey, is your knee hurting? The fuck? What you say to me?
Are you trying to challenge somebody? Yeah, if you ask about someone's lower back and their knees, you're just trying to see if they're like a worthy opponent. About to challenge you to combat. I need to know if you are up to the task.
Speaking of knees, because you need knees to climb to the top of stairs, our first segment, STTT of the week.
STTT of the week.
I give 0 out of 10 to that transition. That.
Speaking of knees.
Speaking of knees.
Could have done like bee's knees or something.
Oh, this
I'm just
person's the
saying.
bee's knees. Yeah.
What I do with trying to make a transition is I punt it, and I don't know where I'm going, but I'm gonna look up and try to catch it.
Wait, if you're punting it,
That's technically a strategy.
you're also catching it.
I'm
So
really
you
Josh
punt
is
and you
the
run
only-
across the football field.
Yeah. He's the only football player on the field.
Anyway, STTT of the week is a person, place, thing, event, or something that is exemplifying STTTology. And this week, STT of the week goes to Nicky Case. Ayo, Frank. Who that is?
Nicky Case is a designer who creates stories about systems of the world around us, including social, physical, political, economic, and environmental systems, and explains them through systems of games. He has a bunch
What kind of games?
So the type of games including the Coming Out Simulator,
What?
the Wisdom and or Madness of Crowds, an interactive guide to human networks, the Parable of the Polygons, an interactive story about how we get divided, and the one that I've found my way through all of his stuff, The Adventures with Anxiety, where you actually play as anxiety, trying to protect your human. It's really interesting. I watched this very long TED Talk by him where he goes in where education seems to be very stringent, very to the point where it's just like ones and twos, but gamifying things have always been interesting, but he doesn't want to gamify the systems. He wants to make them just interactive. So they're interactive essays of various aspects of our life. And the anxiety one particularly was fantastic because obviously as a person who deals with a lot of anxiety, you think of it as yourself a lot, but playing as the anxiety and making choices to quote unquote protect a human was super fascinating. I think people doing this type of work, trying to teach people in new and different ways, because education's incredibly important for STTT.
Yeah, it has to
and
evolve.
finding new ways to do it, I think, is wonderful.
Yeah, as an educator myself, like anytime you give someone an alternative perspective, you're increasing their quality of life. You're making them think of something from someone else's point of view. And something like, playing as anxiety and seeing how that plays a role in someone's life, amazing. Or even the coming out simulator, even if you were not a person that ever had to consider what it takes to come out, just putting yourself in that person's shoes and seeing what it's like for them, incredibly powerful. On top of that, like the form factor of a video game as an educational experience is also something that people have been trying to do for a long time. But when it works, it works. Yeah. And maybe you might remember playing a game like Math Blaster that had you add and multiply and stuff when you were playing a video game. But things like this where you have more complex experiences, more story-driven things, since math is not like a very story-driven thing by nature, these very story-driven experiences lend themselves very well to the video game kind of
environment.
That environment. So seeing this person put it together like that to educate people, that's definitely STTT right there.
Yeah, big facts. Give me some hip hop horns and explosions for Nicky Case. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yo, shout out to Nicky Case. We appreciate you making simulations on how to deal with our simulation, because it's stimulating.
Are you saying we live in a simulation?
We're going to take a quick break for a message from our sponsors. I don't think you should go anywhere. I believe you're not going to go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Attention. Are you between the ages of 18 and 34? Do you work 20 or more hours a week? Would you describe your room as not messy because you know where everything is? You may be suffering from laundry chair and may be entitled to additional seating. Don't wait. Call 1-800-CHAIR-CHAIR-CHAIR. Once again, don't wait. Call 1-800-CHAIR-CHAIR-CHAIR to see if you qualify for an additional seat in your room. Our specialists are waiting.
And we are back for the main segment of the show, our Challenge Checkup. Challenge Checkup! Oh, so long ago, Max came up with this brilliant idea of giving each other New Year's resolutions. So that each of us have decided to follow suit. And over the course of this podcast, you will hear us trying to accomplish these challenges that we've given each other, how we fail, how we strive, how we thrive, and live our best lives. But
our 10-year high school reunion is coming up on June 29th, and we must complete all 12 challenges, 3 each. If we do not complete them, we must speak to our fellow alumni about how we failed each other and ourselves. But if we complete all of our challenges, we will be showing up to this reunion in a Tesla, blasting big facts,
Big facts, boy. We got one of the first songs on our STTT playlist, Big Facts by Nicky Case. If you don't know him, it's a little slapperoonie.
It's a great song. It was brought up by Max. It's not particularly green energy specific, but I think for this podcast and for y'all boys, I think it's absolutely.
I think it's a great rap song by an immigrant.
Oh, yes.
Talking about big facts.
Big facts. Men lie, women lie, stats don't. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Challenge checkup. First up, on the Billy Bop Sandbox, Steve Delavie. What you got for us?
Well, I like to start off my bad weeks with a big sigh and big groan, to just as a foreshadowing of all my challenges. This week might be a little different.
Oh.
Okay.
Because
Tell
maybe
us
I
more.
succeeded, or maybe I failed even harder than ever before. And guys, I didn't fail quite that hard.
Oh.
I don't think
You
I don't
didn't
think I
fail
failed
quite
at
that
all.
hard.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make everything more interesting because
Okay.
yeah, the challenges were okay.
Okay. Let's
The
break it
Max
down.
challenge. Yeah, let's see. So Max challenged me to not wait. Frank challenged me to make music, and Josh challenged me to journal every day. And I'll start off with not waiting, as it's always the most straightforward.
Topical.
Sometimes it's the least straightforward. This week it was pretty straightforward, and I had a lot of little things to do to prepare for my trip for Nicaragua, and I'm happy to say I did them all on time without having to wait. And
Nice. Steve, where are you
Yeah.
right now?
I am currently in Nicaragua, which is 2 hours ahead, or 1 hour ahead of Frank and Max, and 2 hours behind Josh. And having to do a multi-plane trip really was. I actually experienced jet lag as I went forward in time and then went back.
Oh,
And
jeez.
so, yeah, things are kind of weird and hot and humid, but
You're
enough
still in front
about
of
that.
this mic.
I'm still in front of this mic, and I have all these other challenges that have been challenging. Journaling, I actually got up to 6 entries.
Oh.
Yeah. I got like 3 beefy ones, and then a bunch of, or not a bunch, but just like I couldn't write today because I, was up late and so. But the act of doing it, yeah, I think that I see the.
I don't know if you see it, Steve. Like you say, you see it, but
I
Don't know what you see, but
I-
you see it.
I see the point of just at least writing something down. It keeps the momentum going.
What's the point?
Yeah, the last
Oh, good.
challenge. Yeah, the last challenge was to make music, and last week I said for every track I made, or for every draft I made, I would donate $10 to Girls Who Code, and unfortunately, I made more music than I anticipated, so I made 4 drafts, and I'll
That
be
sounds very
donating-
fortunate to me.
Yeah, I'll be donating $40 to Girls Who Code.
Sweet deal, Ally
after
McBeal.
this.
oh,
Yeah.
What what's well, aside from being a very generous soul, what spurred on the musicality?
Well, mostly layovers,
Okay, all right, that's good.
but also some frustrations with Ableton, in that I was really excited to try it out, but my whole plan was to put on the 30-day free demo, and the whole licensing thing just wasn't working. It was just not as straightforward as I thought, and I couldn't get it to activate. So if I were to make music on Ableton without the free 30-day trial thing, I wouldn't be able to save anything. So
Oh yeah, we need evidence.
yeah,
Hmm.
so that was kind of annoying, and so I had this $3 app that I purchased that was kind of like this sampler. It was like kind of this weird program, which was right up my alley with everything I practiced and learned with the LS DJ, a similar interface And yeah, I the cool thing about that is you could do like live recordings of sounds, and then I use that to make some beats. And I was mostly just practicing like drum patterns. Like these drafts aren't anything complete or whatever, but it's more just to practice the drums and building up a beat.
Progress is progress. Yeah, a draft is better than an idea.
Better than not saying that I don't have anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So
a bird in the hand
is a man in the stand.
Man in the
There you
stand.
go.
That's how
Bird
how
in
the
the
saying
sand
goes.
That is a real quote.
That's
Okay.
Nope.
First of all, life's not about inspirational quotes, so
There
Fact
you go.
machine.
don't
Yeah.
even need it.
Wow, Steve. Okay. Well,
Hey, that sounds like you had a pretty
Wow.
productive week there, Steve.
Yeah. Last week was a little rough, but I like how you took those L's, you turned them into a W.
Oh God.
and then
4
it made that
Ls.
W glisten in gold by donating.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Great.
Whoa.
Max, what you got?
I myself have 3 challenges. My first challenge was to see a therapist, given to me by Josh. Frank challenged me to write the first 60 pages of my Great American Novel, and Steve wants me to get 3 people on the Best Lives model. So this week, let's start off by talking about my L's, and then we'll get into the W's.
Get the L's out the way.
Get the L's out the way.
Oh, boy.
So really, I don't know. Last week, I called my therapist to schedule another appointment, and I called, left a voicemail. He called me back. His assistant called me back and let me know that his last time slot, the Tuesday 8:30 that I had, just got filled by someone else. Yeah. So unfortunately, I have to kind of start from the bottom again and find another therapist. Yeah.
Oh
So,
no.
kind of a setback, but like at least I've been through that process already where I kind of know what I have to do there and kind of know how to vet them out. And also I have like some sort of, I think the first time I was going through that, I was kind of weary because I'd never kind of vetted a therapist before. But now that I kind of have a sense of like who I'm looking for and what's available, I think I'm much more well suited for this process. I think it'll take a lot quicker than like the first 13 weeks it took me to find another
13
one.
week max,
13
man.
week max.
Yeah. So I made some calls. Again, I have to go back to my insurance so that they can recommend to me a bunch of other therapists on the insurance plan. And again, I called all of them that they gave me the first time. So I got to call them back so they can give me another list of people to call. But yeah, I got to keep jumping through those hoops, but I will jump through those hoops. Fortunately,
well, Max,
yeah.
I was gonna. Sorry to interrupt you, but I was gonna say, you're done with this challenge.
Right. True.
You have-
I
you have
agree.
completed this challenge. I just want to put that on the record because we
Yes.
got to start Xing out these challenges.
True. Yes.
So
I do
you have
agree.
completed that challenge. So everything else is
Icing on the cake.
up to your own vices.
Yes, up to my own vices, yeah. So I agree that, yeah, I have checked it off, but at the same time, now that I have seen the promised land, I would much rather live in that world where I do have a therapist. So I'm going to continue to find and search for and keep looking until I have a regular therapist I can see every once in a while.
Oh,
so, yeah, I definitely am going to keep looking and update you guys as to when I'm able to find somebody and see them regularly. Yeah. So my second challenge was to get additional people on the Best Lives model.
Yeah.
And this week I reached out to an additional person and I've got a meeting with them next Saturday to get my second person on to Best Lives. So I'm doing a personal branding consultation with them on Saturday, and we're going to get started with seeing where they are with their goals and their career development and start to see how we can use social media to help them ideate and get those goals into their real life. So that's really what Best Lives is all about. I'm very excited about doing that. So that'll be the second person that gets onto the model. And this person is also a friend of the pod who's got a lot going for them. So I'm also very excited to work with them more. So that'll be person number 2 on there. So that goal we just talked about, I just crossed off one goal. Next Saturday, hopefully next time we're talking, I have 2. That goal should be 2/3 complete.
Ooh.
So
okay.
Listen,
Max, do you have some a number 3 in mind?
Yeah, I do have a number 3 in mind. Yes. So I'll try to reach out to them as well, even if it's just to line them up after this person. But yeah, I think I feel pretty confident about making that goal. And what I love about these is like they're really what I'm learning as well as what I'm getting feedback for Best Lives is like I'm starting these working relationships with these people. Like we have our first meeting and it's never really clear how long this is going to go or in terms of like how much services and support they want. It's more of like we're going to keep going until like you're happy with yourself and your social media presence, which might take a long time or it might take a very short time depending on where they are. So
Yeah.
I just like starting these journeys with people. So I'm very excited.
That's cool.
Look at you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then you get one more, and then you got 2 challenges in the bag.
Yeah. So I see the light at the end of the tunnel for the Best Lives challenges.
All right.
Last challenge is to write the first 60 pages of my great American novel.
Yeah.
Last week, I got a micro challenge, and that was to get to 20 pages of this great American novel. If I could get to 20 pages, I would donate $30 to the Philando Castile Foundation. If I could not, I would have to double that and donate $60. I'm proud to say that I will be donating $30 to the Philando Castile Foundation because I was able to get to 20 pages. And what a lot of that looked like was making sure like my laptop lived on the couch so that every time I was sitting down watching something, I could pop it open and make some progress on the manuscript. So I've been just trying to find more habits to integrate, making it easier to open up this document and just like contribute to whatever section I felt the whimsy of contributing. So this week I did a lot of research into my first like deep forays into like what made me fall in love with the internet was like the wares scene. And wares with a Z, W-A-R-E-Z, which was just like, you know, my first eye-opening experience to like, yo, on the internet, literally anything could be free. If it's ones and zeros, there's somebody out there devoted to making sure that you don't have to pay for that, which was like, you know, mind-blowing to an 11, 12, 13-year-old.
And you just happen to want some Game Boy Advance games. You know?
Yeah. Or,
you
you
didn't have
know,
money for
Photoshop or a movie or anything really,
You know.
right? So I started looking into the people that would, you know, crack these softwares and distributed them to the masses because it was a whole, you know, society where they had, you know, a set of rules and they had crews and they had, you know, a hierarchy of how you get invited into these like prestigious societies sort of. And that to me was infinitely interesting. So I did a lot of research into that and I kind of put my character in the bottom rungs of that society and figured out what he would have to do to work his way up. And also like equated that to like moving up in the hood. Like, you know, you could just like, so literally they call them cracks, right? When you have some software that you know, break and you distribute for free. And that's kind of like selling crack on the block. Like it's illegal, number one. And highly addictive. Right. Yeah.
Big facts.
And you can like redistribute someone else's crack. And that's like the bottom level of the hood society. Or you can like make and manufacture your own stuff. And that's really how you get noticed. Yeah. So in those aspects, I realized there was a lot of parallels to it. Right. And my character, I really got to talk about this thing that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time called hood protectionism. Right. Which is the idea that, like, you know, like in the hood, like people really think that like people in the hood don't think it sucks. You know? Like people have this idea that everybody in the hood like is very accepting of these lifestyles of, you know, having to like break the law or rob and steal just to, you know, eat a meal, right? But in reality, like everyone knows like all those things are wrong and they only do them when they're really at wit's end out of desperation, right? But hood protectionism is kind of like when the hood recognizes you as someone that can make it out through legitimate means, they'll keep you away from all the bad parts of the hood.
You don't want none of this.
Yeah, you don't want none of this, right? And as a kid, like all you got to do is like win a science fair or have your picture in the paper, and then people are gonna be like, "Oh, actually, you kid, like you actually might be able to go to college. Like we don't want you. We're not gonna invite you out when we're gonna go and, you know, do all these illegal things, right?" And to me, what that looked like when I was growing up is just a lot of people like I can't tell you how many times like people would just be like running running. And they get up to me and just be sweating bullets and just be like, and I'm like, what happened? Hey, Max, this is not for you, kid.
Not for you.
Don't even worry about it, kid. Yeah. And I'd be like, but no, it looks like hella exciting. Like, what y'all do? Like, don't even worry about it, kid. Are they after us? I'm like, nah. And I would just want to know what those stories were about. But like Hood Protectionism told those people they couldn't tell me those stories, right? So I ran online to like do my illegal activities because nobody would invite me to the illegal activities in person, you know? So I got to write about things like that I kind of never had a chance to tell people about. And that was very exciting. That's kind of what filled my pages in the story.
Yo, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, that is
wow,
an amazing combination of source materials.
Wow. I mean, you're just making it personal, which is great.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think what I've been learning as well, and Josh, I'm sure through your writing journey, you've seen how kind of, you know, how personal it is, right? And how sometimes you don't really have a choice, right? Like you can really only write from your perspective, right? So
one of the most powerful writing quotes I've heard was that whenever you feel stuck, it's an older quote, but it says, plug your vein into the typewriter.
Yes.
And I've always imagined, like, you know, whenever you need to work through something, you immediately just relate yourself and how you would feel about it in some raw shit. And I just imagine like, I don't know, splattering blood all over my keyboard.
Right. Like it's very personable and like I don't even have control over it yet. Right. Sometimes I don't know when I'm getting too personal and I'm writing things that only I would like perhaps understand. But to me, especially when I'm in the early stages of writing this book, it's really just important to get it all out there. And when I get into the editing process, I'll be able to be like, all right, that's probably too much, or I can go further into these parts. Right now, I'm still like just vomiting it all onto the page. And
so
then
what's your total page count again?
Yo, so this week I actually got to 24. Which is like I did it again. The goal was 20, right? But like when I hit this flow, and then I kind of realized what I wanted to talk about and how I never had a reason to talk about that before, and it just kind of all came out. So, yeah, those are my challenges, guys.
Okay, wow, oof, that was effervescent, Max.
Damn, Max.
Yeah, we need some Max out of Max explosions.
Yeah, get back some explosions, that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, Max, like you talking about people in the hood watching your back. I was told by a man holding an AK-47 elevator to stay in school.
Exactly. Hood protectionism. I'm telling you, it's real, right?
Like, the man has a weapon to murder someone, and he's like, "Stay in school." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah,
like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, he knows he doesn't want you to do that.
No.
Like, he's got the AK. He understands he's doing something wrong.
Yeah.
He's not glorifying the lifestyle, and he doesn't want you to think for a second that this is something that you should do. You know, despite the fact he's about to go and do it. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
God damn. So
I am in full support of hood protectionism.
Yeah, you gotta protect people, man.
All right, Frank, what you got for us?
Yo, I've got 3 challenges. The first one is from Josh to maintain a consistent meditation regimen. The second one is from Steve to try the no S diet, no snacks, no sweets, no seconds for 4 weeks. And the last one is to speak up more at work concerning social issues.
Ooh.
So let's start right off the top. Meditation, 7 out of 7.
Ow.
14 days.
Okay.
That new streak building up step by step.
Yeah.
Waking up early, killing it. Moving on to no S, 7 out of 7. This is also 14 days of eating right, staying the hell away from UberEats, saving that money. I had a big finance talk with Max the other day.
Oh yeah.
And so that's been helping me out quite a bit, but also just thinking about the money that I'll have that I'm not going to spend on basura and throwing that into, stocks and investments.
If I can caveat that really quick, everybody out there, if your employer provides you with a retirement account, see if that also gives you free access to a brokerage account. Because if you're giving you retirement benefits through like Fidelity or Vanguard, you can also, for free, open a brokerage account to buy and sell stocks or bonds or index funds, all sorts of financial products available to you for free. So take advantage of that. I helped Frank open up a brokerage account for free through the same services he's getting his retirement from through his employer. and it took like what 15 minutes to like open the account and add your bank stuff, and yeah.
Yep. I tossed in a stack this morning.
Ooh.
Gonna see what I do from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been good, and
Wow.
I've been trying to be better with my finances overall, because a lot of it went to food. A lot of it went to a bunch of food that I only wanted in the moment. And then I'd look at my bank account at the end of the month and be like, yo, why the hell am I down like $250, which I could be using for something that could actually benefit me and something that doesn't actively, literally weigh me down. So 7 out of 7. So that's 2 full weeks. Headed towards 4. So I got 2 more full weeks to come. And yeah, it's going to be lit. And lastly, about the social issues. Boy, this is a week.
Ooh.
So I wasn't at my office for our yearly Cinco de Mayo celebration.
Gee, I wonder why.
Okay.
So I wasn't there because I was in Miami at the time, but I was there for the celebration for the past 2 years. And to say that they're... what's the best way I could put this? To say that they're incredibly that particular celebration is incredibly culturally sensitive to say that it is sensitive would be a lie.
Okay.
But there was nothing that was ultimately like angry or whatever, but the moment you bring out sombreros and those big old mustaches, there's issues. And I felt some type of way about it like the previous 2 years. But something, I don't know what happened this year, but there was an email that actually came to us this week that stated that, hey, there's been some concerns raised about like how this has been run. So we will be taking this into account and make sure that our celebrations henceforth are a little more appropriate to the people who work here and for everybody there. So I'm just
Frank, I just want to bring this back to something you brought up a few weeks ago. You said at your company recently there was a lot more Latinos hired, right?
Yes.
So I imagine now that there's representation,
yes,
and people can put their voice in, multiple people, I imagine, or like, actually, that's not how we do this in Mexico. As a matter of fact, this is not a holiday in Mexico at all. Also, I've never seen someone walk around with a gun belt full of shot glasses around their chest.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yep. And like, I unsurprisingly, I'm pretty close with all the other Latinos at the company. And I think I know exactly who said something about it. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. But I'm happy that was addressed. Nice. And I'm really excited to see that happened. On the other end of the spectrum of that progressive there, I was talking to... I'm going to see how vague I can get on this, but they're probably never going to listen to it. Anyway, I was talking to someone at the company. Okay. And in that conversation, I was talking about one of my friends who is Latina, to which this person said, "Ooh, spicy."
So I'm sorry. Was this like upon you recognizing this person like, as Latin?
Yeah, they're from this Latin country, and they're like, "Oh,
ooh,
spicy."
Oh, I'm sorry. Like they had a flavor in their mouth, like they could taste the adobo right there.
Now, Latino women like have been dealing with this comment for fucking ever.
Yeah,
and it's super fucked up. And in my head, how I would like to react to this, I'm just like, hey, that's not cool. Like, don't use that out there. That's how I would want to react to that. How I actually reacted to that was, first off, anytime something like actually racist happens around me, I always turn into Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, where it's just like I want to say something good, but it always just turns into a mumbled like, it's just and then So like spicy, and I'm like, well, actually, I'm also Latino, and I didn't mean like in the sense that like that would make it wouldn't make us spicy, so like that's probably wouldn't be the best. Yeah. Like I want to reprimand them, but I also don't want. I'm still like, how do I keep this conversation going without being straight like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The fuck you
well,
say?
I'll put it to you this way. White fragility is real.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite matter what you say to some people. They kind of are always going to feel attacked when you try to offer them that feedback, that what they said, despite their lack of racist intention, it was still full of racist content, you know? And
Big
people
facts.
just are still not ready to hear that in a lot of spaces. So it helps if you're friends with that person. You can kind of like, you know, hold their hand and guide them into the meadow of, you know, non-racism. But some people, anytime you kind of bring that up, they feel like you're shoving them into the garden of you're wrong and you said something offensive, and that's not quite.
You hate black people. You hate everyone.
Stern pointing.
But this particular person is in, let's say, a good position of power at this at my company.
Yeah.
So the rest of my coworkers who were around me when they heard this comment, we all kind of looked at each other. We're just like, we're all in agreement.
everyone
We all
knew it.
heard this, right? Like,
Yeah.
We
Oh,
we all
gosh.
heard this happen there. All right. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And afterwards, like, it's kind of like after Trump won the election, like white people were extra nice to me. So like after that, like we were just like, yeah. So you know, that spicy comment, like whatever, man. It was just like trying to cover up for what that person said. It was just like, hey, yeah, you know what they meant. You know, they didn't mean it like that. You know. Oof. But I
sounds like you had a good week though.
I had a good week, but I hope to you know, be a little better on covering that shit later on.
Yeah, I would think about how you want to address those situations in the future, so that perhaps instead of like going to that Larry David mode, like you don't have to go like full, you know, Malcolm X, but
So between the middle of Larry David and Malcolm X.
Yeah, it should be somewhere between Larry David and Malcolm X, right?
Just have a plan in place.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Got you. Josh.
All
what
right,
you got?
Josh, what you got? I got 3 challenges. My first challenge is to keep a consistent workout schedule given to me by Frank. My second challenge is to make music. Bonus points if it's with the banjo by Max. And my last challenge was to keep a close watch on my finances and build a financial responsibility base of living.
Wow.
Otherwise known as a budget.
You made it sound so difficult, Josh. Yeah.
Thank you. So this week I didn't work out.
What?
I didn't work out this week.
What?
I did not go to the gym this week.
Okay.
I was not feeling too like good, meaning like, you know, I worked out 4 times last week, so I was a little more sore, but I probably could have powered through it. However, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a lot of self-care this week because I have not done that. So while I didn't work out necessarily, I spent a lot of days stretching. I spent a lot of days breathing into my lower back. I did some Tai Chi. And I rested. I rested because I did not do that the week before. I didn't have the steam to go to the gym. I probably could have went. There's no denying that. Obviously, you can work through anything. Yeah. But I felt like I still paid close attention to my body, and I provided the care and rest that it needed for this week.
Nigga,
Okay.
what?
So, Josh, you don't consider going to the gym self-care?
That's self-care.
No, I do. By self-care, I mean like rest was the priority for me.
You could take rest days in a week you work out.
Yeah, it's not rest weeks.
Yeah, it's not rest weeks.
Yeah, I feel like a rest week is, you know, that's a lot.
Counter.
Yeah, that's just you just didn't work out. Like
yeah. I love how you framed it.
Yeah,
you framed
it like, hey man, I learned
way.
something and took care of
Yeah, it
myself.
sounded like you had a very
you
peaceful
didn't
time
work
last
out.
week. Yeah.
If anything, you went backwards. You slid.
Yeah,
you took a backward step and you tried to frame it like you're moving forward.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fuck, nigga?
Look, Josh, I want to appreciate you for showing your self-love right here. But right now, I'm gonna be your friend and let you know that you did not work out last week, and you don't need a full week of rest after a week of working out a lot.
Yeah, and that was 4 days. You didn't work 7 days in a row, and you're like, oh shit, my arm fell off. Time to really take care of this arm, man.
And last time I checked, your lower back is doing just fine.
Yeah, we said off the top.
Max, you checked Josh's lower back.
I mean, we all kind of had a little lower back check-in earlier. I'm just saying about that. I didn't personally go to check.
I mean, but that would be fine if you did, right? Like,
Right. I'm saying if
Yeah.
you had some issues with your lower back, I would check on your lower back.
wait.
All right.
All I'm saying is this.
You didn't work out last
I
week.
did not, but it was for a reason.
You, Josh, anyone could justify their
You could
way out of anything. And all of us being Max's friend for a decade know that very well.
Yes.
You can use
Yep.
logic that sounds
Yes.
sounds sound.
Sound. Yeah.
Yeah, if you hear a person just say all these things long enough.
You're
Okay,
right.
look, I didn't go, and
You took away the whole Trump thing, and that immediately you're like, all right, I don't have to be a supporter, so now I can just like take naps and eat snacks.
oh my god, and there was a lot of that too.
And
Oh
there was
God,
snack, nigga. Okay, what?
Yeah.
I thought with the Tai Chi at least like that would really be like a
I didn't go
a real
this
kick
week
forward
also.
there.
You
didn't
also
go-
didn't do
No,
Tai
because
Chi.
he couldn't link up this week.
Jesus
Didn't
Christ.
you say you went to Tai Chi?
No, I did it. Like I did it on my own.
Okay. All right. That's good. I feel like also
okay.
if you had, how many times did you Tai Chi?
Oh no.
Like once.
Like
For what, like 5
once?
minutes?
Like once? Like it was similar to one
You just
time?
stand in a Tai Chi pose and you're like
Like 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes.
okay, that's
Okay.
not that's
Or I feel like if you just did more Tai Chi, that could also count
Yeah.
as these,
I
physical
would always
workouts.
count Tai Chi as a workout.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
I
it
do.
is. But
Yeah.
I didn't like do it. Like, okay, look. All right. Let's problem solve here.
Okay. How many times are you going to work out next week, Josh?
3 times.
but
Okay.
I like
more importantly,
I am gonna ride this challenge out with 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you've
cool with
shown that you can comfortably do 3.
Yes, and I'm gonna own 3. I'm owning 3 now.
Great. I think you should continue with accountability posts.
Okay.
So I think you should post every time you go to the gym. It's a very normal thing to do on social media.
yes.
Facts.
So I think you should continue with that. And that'll allow us to be like, hey, Josh, see, you haven't been to the gym this week yet, kind of stuff.
Boy, you haven't put any posts up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't liked any of your videos of you squatting.
Right.
Why is
So, yeah, that'll help you as well.
Okay. All right, that's what we're going back to.
Man.
Then. All right.
Yeah.
let's do
Yeah.
So what about your other challenges?
My other challenges have been amazing. I
Ooh,
have
okay.
been making so much music this week. It is ridiculous.
Okay.
I've been making so much music. I got a freaking sampler. One of my coworkers let me borrow a sampler. It makes
Nice.
like drum loops and patterns. And I was messing with that for like 3 days. I threw on like 2 little mini concerts in my bedroom with my roommates and my sister. We were just rocking out to the beats I was making on the spot. I looped something and I started playing the banjo along with it. I made a little slap-a-rooney by beatboxing on the mic. I made like
Hey.
5 things this week.
Nice.
So I'm very active in that. I let everything out, and now all I have to do is finish writing and record, and I'm done. So I have all
Okay,
the drafts.
so- ooh.
I have
Oh.
everything.
Wait, so
I
you
have,
have all the drafts?
I have yes, instrumental wise, yeah, I have all the drafts, and I have like
That's
little
great.
hum-alongs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, in the little slapperoo you played us, I think it had a great vibe to it. Like I'm excited to see what that becomes.
Yeah.
I think you got some really good beginnings here, and yeah, I'm excited to see you refine those more and like have a finished product pretty soon. So I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
it's I wanted a little something. So it was a very very vibrant week with music making. Now I just gotta write. Like now it's time to just write my bars.
Freaking
Okay.
But I've been finding the groove. So so there's that. And then with finances, I was good this week. There was a lot of money to be made this week, which was great. It was payday, and it's the halfway mark payday, so like I didn't have to pay rent. And I was really, really aggressive with my savings and really, really aggressive with my credit cards.
That's good.
It's a great way to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Be
And then
aggressive.
I organized it. I was like organizing my money. I was always checking my account, making sure everything was processing and going through. I did order UberEats like twice this week, and on top of not going out to the gym, I don't think that was really wise.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Josh, I also have to point out, so like the challenge itself, right, has to do with an actual budget. And I think every week we talk about like how good you feel about spending and saving, which, you know,
numbers
is part
don't
of it.
feel.
I'm glad we have a lot of, we call this qualitative data, emotions and stuff. But in terms of like the numbers of your budget, right? Number one, did you look at a budget for you this week? Is my question.
I did not.
Okay. Does one exist out there?
There is one. There are several that exist.
All right. Well, we need to pick one. We can't have these several
Yeah.
out here.
If you have several, there must be conflicting data, or
You need
different
one source of
goals.
truth.
Well, I have a recent one that is the most fleshed out.
All right. See, I think that's an issue in terms of
Okay.
you should know which one is the one, and it should be 100% accurate. You should trust it. And that'll also kind of allow you to know, like, if these feelings are corresponding to, like, actual making progress to your financial goals, right?
Yes.
So,
Because as Anik Khan says, men lie, women lie, stats don't.
yeah, we need to figure out if these stats are lying. Right?
Okay, so let's set up a reevaluation chat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
When can I talk to one of y'all?
I
I
can.
mean, Steve has been my correspondent for this, so I don't. Well,
Yeah, no, I mean, Max helped Frank out, so he can easily help you out too. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
he can phrase things in a different way that'll
yes.
make more sense.
Max, can you onboard me on a budget?
Yes, we can try Max's version of a budget.
Okay.
Also,
I mean, no
Josh,
disrespect to the teachings of Steve. I just haven't been on it.
No,
yet.
I mean, I take no offense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we just gotta try different
It's
things.
about different perspectives.
Right.
Okay.
And Josh, speaking of different perspectives, like I know you got Gino like doors away from you, who's a personal trainer and can help you with your fitness and diet. But if you need another person who also has man boobs to talk to about, like,
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even
diet
gonna
and
lie.
exercise.
I opened up Instagram this morning. There's a picture of Gino, like abs out. Like
Abs out.
it's just his abs, and I'm just like, fuck you, Gino. Like,
Well, but the thing is, right under it, he had a
Yeah.
caption
Uh-huh.
explaining exactly how to do it,
he did, yeah, which is great.
which was very informative for me.
right. So at least I like it. Also shows he wants to help people. Again, he is
He
a
is
personal
very
trainer.
passionate about getting people into their best look.
Right.
He is very passionate about it. He will if you're his client and you're lazy, he will drop you. He takes no pleasure in people that do not want their bodies
Right.
to look as amazing as he wants it for you.
Yeah.
It's
That's-
crazy.
That's great.
part of the reason I gave you that challenge. Because I'm like, hey, you got it. You got people, and it's not just him. Edson, who's not on social media, is also in very good shape as well. You know?
And my other roommate Mary, they're all everyone.
they're all-
I'm
Look
the
at that.
funny one, remember?
You're the funny one. That was episode 1, season
Yeah.
1, episode 1 of Y'all Boys Talking.
The funny one. Yeah.
Brought to-
All right,
brought to-
so look, it seems like the best thing for me is accountability checkups.
Yeah, I think you also need some prototypes of success, archetypes, if you will. So align yourself with some people, again, like Gino, who's definitely in shape, people that are in good financial shape, and people that are making music as well. I think those are all help you as well.
Yes, big facts.
So we'll set
All
the
right.
meeting, Josh, and we'll get you a budget this week too.
Swag sauce.
17 weeks, Josh.
Well, hold on. I will say we do. I think we need to account the successes and cross things off, because I need to know exactly what I need to do specifically moving forward regarding the finance thing.
How do you check this off the list, right?
Huh?
How do you check this goal off the list?
Yes,
Like,
as
what
well
is-
as the gym.
yeah, that too.
Like I've missed a couple of days here and there. But how many streaks
a
are we
week
gonna...
here and there. Yeah.
Well, the official challenge was for 3 months. It's not going to be occurring for 3 entire months, as we are only about a month and a half away from the end of this challenge.
Yeah.
But as long as you say consistency. Let's say you know what? Let's house of y'all. I'd like to have a quick house of y'all meeting to adjust this challenge. I'd like to switch this consistent Josh's goal to work on a consistent workout schedule. The goal for 3 months. Switch it to 1 month. As long as you're consistent
Yeah.
for 1 month, that will
I'm
complete your
happy.
challenge.
I'm happy if Josh just sets a personal best.
What do you mean?
What does that account for?
Like the most weeks in a row that he's ever gone to the gym. If he can go into the graduation at like streaking higher than he's ever gone. So like
I don't
You
want
want
to be
Josh
naked.
okay.
First of all, are we at a
It's not a
graduation?
graduation.
Did you reunion?
Okay. What I'm trying to say is that so Josh, how many weeks? What's been your longest streak for weeks in a row going to the gym?
I'd say like 3 weeks.
Right. So I think
Well, honestly, in hindsight, I have many streaks of months. I have never worked out this consistently regarding months.
right. So I think if you can go into graduation on your best
What?
streak,
Whose
Reunion.
graduation?
your
reunion.
your reunion.
Oh, the reunion.
Yeah.
Yes.
10-year graduation. Yeah.
Of which you're hosting.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
the
I am
thing
now
that you're
apparently
hosting.
hosting the reunion.
Amazing.
So
So from now, I have to keep it consistent from now until June.
That'd be great.
correct.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
weeks. I'm not even gonna say it's June. We still have a bit over 4 weeks until then.
Yeah.
But if you could do
A
4
minimum of
weeks,
4 consistent weeks of working out.
correct.
There you go. And
Yes.
you've
And
defined
have
that as 3 per week.
Yeah, 3 workouts per week.
For 4
Any
weeks.
less is not consistent.
Boom.
Any
All
less, and you're going to be in front of there. Hey, you're hosting. You're going to be in front of them. Or you're going to be talking about your failures
Oh,
or your
I can host
successes.
shirtless.
I mean, hey, listen.
I
if
don't
you want,
know about that. Like,
Yeah.
You know, hey, do
hey,
you?
we're going to be on a boat in Miami. Like, it won't look out of place. So,
All right, cool.
yeah.
All right, swag. All right, that's enough. Thank you so much for checking up. Who am I thinking? I don't know. Thank you guys.
All of them. Team Josh. You're
welcome.
thanking Team Josh for following along.
Team Josh for holding on.
On that note, thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's keep this energy alive and the momentum going. We hope you got something out of checking up on our journey, and we hope to hear from you. All right.
you don't sound confident at all.
Hey, if you want to call us, just
I guess.
let us know,
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to call us, that's fine too.
On that note, that was our challenge checkup. Thank you, gentlemen, for partaking in that. Thank you, listeners, for continuing to listen to our journey, our strifes, and our triumphs. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
It's 6 a.m. Aaron did a kickflip and failed. Nicky did one of those internet challenges. And Jeb's Kickstarter has almost reached its goal. Now you know, you tap, you scroll. 8:30 a.m. A celeb just got canceled. Another superhero movie is out, and using the code SAVE gives you 15% off. Now you know, you tap, you scroll. Tapping and scrolling in bed affects us in different ways. If you're doing too much scrolling, think before you scroll. Social media is meant to keep you hooked. Remember, you can log out, delete the app, or delete the account if necessary. Control social media before it controls you.
And welcome back for our final segment, our rose, our thorn, and our bud.
Oh, I got my rose, I got my bud, I got my thorn. Here is the rose and the thorn and the bud of the week. I got my rose and my thorn and my bud.
Yo, sick song, Josh.
Rosebud Thorn is an opportunity for us to give gratitude to our week. Your rose is something that happened this week that you were just so grateful for. Your bud is something you're looking forward to next week. And your thorn is something that was in your side. A whoo in your side.
An ouchie.
Yahoo!
Yowie, wowie.
Let's start us off. Steve, what you got?
My thorn this week, as it's been couple weeks before my skin's getting worse again. Yeah, just eczema is a weird skin condition, I guess, that just comes out of nowhere. And yeah, I fortunately had the foresight to schedule a dermatologist appointment right before my flight to Nicaragua, and I scheduled this while I was in Utah when I already had a coming up appointment with a dermatologist in Utah. So I exercised great foresight and covered my bases because I knew I felt like my skin was going to get worse again. And yeah, I'm just taking other medications and seeing how that goes.
But have you been keeping up with your medications as prescribed? Because a bit ago you were like, oh, I haven't been doing my medication as I should have been because I've been going to the gym at work.
Starting yesterday.
So
no.
Oh,
so you've been doing it for 2 days, correct?
Oh, no. I took all the medication that the Utah dermatologist gave me, and that actually helped a lot. But I had other parts that needed attention since like September or October that I've been neglecting, and I've been taking that medication again. So hopefully that clears things up and I don't have these continuing spurts of bad skin problems.
Yeah, and careful about seeing like dermatologists outside of your normal one. Like, sure, if you need help, go ahead and see a dermatologist in Utah, but I'm sure whoever you see in the Bay Area kind of knows you, especially if you've seen them multiple times, and your Utah dermatologist might not know what your Bay Area dermatologist has in store.
No, definitely. I mean, I only saw the one in Utah because I needed like desperate help. My hands were literally bleeding from the skin, how bad it got. So moving away from that grossness, my rose this week was, aside from landing in Nicaragua and realizing I'm in a completely different country again, I got to meet Celeste's parents, and it was really, really nice. I mean, I'm staying here for 2 weeks or so, and it was just a big highlight in obviously the week, but just our relationship, just getting to know them and seeing the uncanny similarities and differences that make her, and yeah, it was really nice. We had lunch at a pretty snazzy little restaurant.
Yeah, meeting parents is a pretty big step.
Yeah, and my bud, I guess, is maybe not obvious, but it's I'm in Nicaragua for 2 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. Just I've only been here for about a day now, and yeah, there's just a lot of natural sights and beauties and wonders that we have to see, and just experiencing this culture here and just seeing how things are and doing really awesome stuff. So I'm very, very excited for what's to come.
Okay.
Globetrotting Steve.
Jet setter. What you got for us, Max?
I got 3 things: a thorn, a rose, and a bud. I'll start off with my thorn, which really should be a rose, but quarterly bonuses came out, and this is the first full quarter that I'm at Pandora. So I was like, ooh, get my first full bonus, right? And they were telling us how much the bonus was, and I was like, damn, nice, right? And then I got the deposit into my account, and that's when I learned that when you get a bonus in California, you're taxed at about 45%.
Yep.
45%.
Yep.
Half of what they told me I was going to get was taken by the government. That's my bonus.
During we get a Christmas bonus at my job where they tell us how much it is. Yeah. So the CEO of the company sits us down hey, thanks for your work, here's your bonus, it's for X amount of dollars. And I'm like, ooh, X amount of dollars. Open up that envelope after taxes. Oh no.
Oh God.
Well, do you get that back though?
No.
No.
What do you mean when you file for tax?
No,
you always pay taxes.
It's taxed income.
Yeah. So it's a specific type of income.
It's only when you overpay taxes that you get a return, which is why it's called a return.
Right. So it's not gonna the money's theirs, Josh, is the part that makes it a thorn.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, having 45% of my bonus taken by Uncle Sam was my thorn. Rose is just a great weekend. So Saturday, went to a graduation, saw my friend Anna become a master of psychology. That was pretty cool.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know a master.
Is she Doctor Strange?
Basically. Well, that's the next step. But right now she's Master Strange. And then today, Sunday, is Beta Breakers. It's a race from the east coast of San Francisco to the west coast of San Francisco, which is about 7 miles. And it's just a great excuse to get drunk in the streets. So, of course, we're going to go and have fun, wear our onesies, group costume, have a grand old Sunday.
To be fair, like almost any week in San Francisco is a good reason to run in the streets.
And get drunk.
Absolutely. But
Like,
this
there's
one,
always
they're going to
something.
close off the streets for us, which is nice.
Oh, so the other difference is that like the street will actually be closed.
Yes. Which is great. And my bud is last week I went to a few bookstores, made some purchases. Wrapping up my current book, which is Cal Newport's Digital Minimalism. A wonderful book. Definitely recommend it, especially if you have a hard time with the role social media is playing in your life. It'll give you a bunch of really neat, concrete ideas you can put into practice to, make sure it's doing stuff for you. I also picked up Astro Boy. I also picked up Astro Boy #1, and I thought it was just a really cool, piece of manga, but it's also about like hyperfuturism. Is in the 60s, and it's about like androids and computers taking over the world and stuff, and how people thought that was going to happen in the 60s, which is very different than how to actually happen in the 2019, right? But I always love seeing how people talk about the future like 30, 40, 50 years ago. Always fascinating. Yeah, it's always super insightful. So definitely got a bunch of books that I want to get into. That's what I got.
I want to add a quick thing to the people running in the streets. The first, one of the first months that I lived in San Francisco, I just saw a large group of naked people like riding their bikes down the street. Yeah. Just like it was just like
Tuesday,
Wednesday. Yeah, it's just like a Wednesday, people riding down the street, and then only after that. Like a couple months after, did San Francisco make it illegal for you to just be straight up naked in the city, which to me is fascinating. That for so long San Francisco is just like, if you're naked, it's cool, bro. But if there's one city to do it, that'd be the one.
Yeah,
you never never really visit San Francisco until you've seen someone naked,
full naked,
and that's
walking down
to this
big facts.
That's to this day when it's still illegal.
All right, what you got for us, Frank?
So for my thorn this week, it's my tendency to overpromise. I have a client that has given me a pretty lax schedule to finish something, and instead of being like, "Oh yeah, it'll take me a week," and then deliver it in 3 days, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow," and then being like, "Oh my god, I need to finish this tomorrow. I need to finish this tomorrow." So I'm basically just creating more difficulty for myself than need be. So
sounds
I need
like a
to
great way to manufacture anxiety.
Yeah, I've basically created my own anxiety from there when it's completely unnecessary, knowing full well that the client is being like super chill about it and would be okay if it took me a week to do it.
Right, and they're asking you for your expertise in terms of how long is this going to take. They might not know at all how long a project like that might take. So it really is depending on how much you're the expert here. You tell them the timetable, and they're like, okay, I guess that's the timetable.
Yeah, and Frank, as someone who does the exact same thing on a pretty frequent basis, either with like my own work at Essential or at what's it called or freelancing things, I do the same thing. So all I can say is, if you find a solution, let me know.
I think you're on the right track with the overpromise or the underpromise, overdeliver.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
Right. Yeah, because that will always if anything, it'll make you look good when you get to like overdeliver. And certainly you want to avoid the over-promising / under-delivering, right? I think you know what you got to do. Just got to practice it.
But much like the spicy comment from earlier, sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, tomorrow? Yeah, I just got to be a little more confident in knowing that there's time limits. But I'll work on that. But my rose of the last week has been my workouts and the overall clarity I think I've had in achieving most of my goals. I've been, along with the no S diet, like I've been working out every single day for the past, well, not every single day, 4 times a week for the past 2 weeks. And like all the time that I spent just like sitting around and being like, I don't know if I should, I don't know, like maybe I feel good in my bed or whatever. Yeah, I'm done with that nonsense. Like after I got back from Miami and after like, my uncle and my mentor and every human being that I saw out there was just like, hey, that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go back to Miami looking the exact same way that I was there. So that instead of supporting Trump, right, this is the thing that's lit the fire under my ass.
Fat shaming.
To just like, yeah, like, well, fat shaming, but also I am confident in my ability to get to this place. Okay. And I just need to be on the same page with myself and be like, hey, you gonna do this? I'm like, yeah.
All right.
And I've been doing it.
All right.
And so much so, the clarity's been so good that my bud is I'm looking to end my current therapy session.
Relationship with your therapist? You feel like you've gotten everything you can from that?
Okay.
You got an exit plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've the last 2 sessions that I've had was been basically me being like, things are great. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, everything that I've wanted to dig through, and I've gone in for multiple weeks. So I've been in this therapist for about 6 months now, and like I think I kind of I think I got to nail it. Perfect mental health. But I think
you're in a good place for
bi-week. I'm in a really good place. I'm switching to bi-weekly, but with the intention of ending it entirely.
Got it. So you're gonna like kind of wean yourself off slowly, just in case. And then when you're really sure, then you can be like, all right, I think we're good here.
I think we're good. And then, you know, just live my life. So I'm excited about that because I don't really, you know, I've talked on this podcast a bunch of times about like really bad like panic attacks and anxiety attacks and things like that. And the fact that it's been clearing up for me the past like 3-4 weeks, it's been amazing. And excited to see what the future holds.
Nice.
Josh.
So my rose this week was that I really, wholeheartedly enjoyed computer programming.
Ooh.
Where'd this come from?
It's pretty cool. And HTML, Java, and CSS. It was cool. But most importantly, I got a chance to literally spend the entire day with my younger sister. And we woke up early to code, had food, walked around, did errands around Miami, and had debates about Kodak Black. It was fun.
Who won?
What side of the Kodak Black debate were you on?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
My thorn this week was that on Mother's Day, I had a wonderful time with my family, and it was capped off with my mother's car getting towed. Ew. It was not fun. We got back to the car, and it was not there. And apparently we parked it in the disabled thing, but like the sign was really good. There's a lot going on into it. Point being, my mom had an amazing attitude about it. She was just like, yo, what the hell? She's like, we're not going to let this ruin our amazing day. I was like, all right, I got you.
Nice.
But it still was a thorn in my side because I finally had to pay like $150 to get it out. And then I look on the car, there's a ticket for $250.
You got a ticket and towed. What?
I was like, what the fuck? So now I got to go to get a hearing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's double beasting.
It's just not cool. And for my bud is that next week I'm going to go see this cool play. And I got like tickets or whatever. And I'm going to invite me a lady.
Okay. Don't talk like that when you're
all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you already know this lady, or have you?
Yes. We have a lot of rapport. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
She's a fine lady. And yeah.
Did you find this lady on the apps that you deleted?
No. This is IRL. This is real life.
Ooh. Okay. Tell me more about real life.
You know, sometimes you just gotta connect with people and not have any expectations, because the last thing or the worst thing that can happen is that you have a nice connection with someone.
What? That's the worst thing that can happen?
Wait, that means the best.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want nothing to happen from this, is what you're telling us?
No, I mean, like, you just have no expectations. You just focus on connecting.
Connecting with people. Okay.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
But that's that. Right. That's that. Mic drop. To the top.
Mic drop from the top.
That's the end of this podcast. Too bad it couldn't last. But guess what? We got to go, and that's the math. Ha ha.
Thank you for that, Josh.
I mean,
thank you for listening, guys and gals. Good luck with your week. Bye.
We got a couple shout outs that we want to give. Shout out to Gino Music for making the theme song. The song is called Won't Stop. Eddie and Lewis for making the interstitial music and giving us the good vibes. Follow along with our challenges at y'allboystalkin.com. Subscribe to us via iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Y'all Boys Talkin'. New episodes every week.